The first iPad Air, the first 64-bit tablet that was released by Apple. Let's talk about it. Tablet time. This is the iPad Air first generation. The first generation or the first iteration of the iPad Air. I'd say, why do I have this? And why is it defaced AF? Well, story about how I own this. Anyway, I just owned this last month in Christmas. Like, I told my mother that, Mom, I would like to have the iPad because you aren't using it anymore, and because I can manage with very outdated apps. This thing is still running on 15.7, as you can see. It's also a bit low on. It's also the 32 GB version. Anyway, I told her that I would like to have these, and she'd let me. But there was some conditions, like I couldn't bring this to school, which is understandable considering this is it has a broken digitizer, aka the touchscreen glass thing. Yes, this is called the digitizer, not the LCD. Okay, the LCD is separate. This is the LCD, the display itself. But the touch thing, the main glass that is literally exposed to, register your touch and all that good stuff, is a digitizer, not an LCD. Anyway, she let me have it. But before this was owned by my grandmother, an OFW grandmother, and she decided to give this to me. But as you may know, my channel has the word lazy on it, and that reflects me in real life. I'm a lazy ass teenager, a 60-year-old teenager, to be perhaps. And my mother doesn't like that. And also my grandmother too. So she kept this away from me. So she uses it. She uses it. Now, for the question, why is it defaced? Well, at the time I remember that when I caught my mother using this, the screen was fine. But then after some days, like she hid it, it was defaced. I don't know why it was broken. Yeah. So my reasons for having this, it was for school purposes and editing. Like, I make videos, but I am too lazy. That's why I have also the name in my YouTube channel, Haswell Studios Lazy underscore. I don't know. I forgot and I don't bother to check. And also in TikTok too, but the lazy is literally misspelled. Apps don't work like they used to, like YouTube and some Spotify and all that. But ByteDance apps, the developer for TikTok, yeah, CapCut and TikTok still works. I don't know why, because this is a very slow one now. Back then it would be powerful, but yeah. So some history. Now, this was released in 2013, and it was one of the first 64-bit tablets. It's one of the first 64-bit things that Apple made in the A7 lineup. The first one was the Apple iPhone 5S, and the second one was the iPad Mini 2, which was released 11 days after this iPad was released. And also, Qualcomm gave us Qualcomm CEO, or I think it was an executive, I don't remember, but I have read that Qualcomm CEO was literally trashing Apple in the face for having a 64-bit first, and for saying that, oh no, Apple, you first 64-bit? Oh no, that is so effing stupid. And- But then, where's that executive anymore? Where's the executive? No. And then the executive got a bit of a, you know, what happened. Anyway, the Qualcomm later apologized and told why. So it was they were told no. They told that they were kind of bit scared about you know about Apple releasing a 64-bit CPU first than them. They did somehow release a 64-bit CPU. It was far more years later, and the first 64-bit CPU only used the Arch32 run state, which is not 64-bit. But yeah, and also in the A7 lineup, this was the most powerful one in the A7 lineup. You might say, how so? Oh, well, based on my research on this, this has an upclocked version of the A7, while the other devices that in the A7 lineup, for example, the iPhone 5s and the iPad Mini 2, only had the 1.3 gigahertz, but this has 1.4. Or not impressive today, but impressive at that time. Much more impressive at that time in 2013 to have a 64-bit CPU running at 1.64-bit mobile ARM CPU running at 1.4 gigahertz, which is cool. Unlike the other A7 devices that had 1.3 gigahertz, this one only has this one was the A7 inside this was different than the other A7 devices. The other A7 devices had package on package, or POP. This means that, example, this is the CPU substrate, and there's a lot of pads here for the GPU. No, not the GPU, the RAM. So this, for example, my hand is the RAM. That's a POP SoC. But the iPad Air, to compensate the heat that the 1.4 gigahertz dual core Cyclone cores that Apple made to compensate for the heat again. They separated the RAM and the CPU. So if you see, I will show a teardown picture of the iPad Air motherboard. As you can see there, the Apple A7 chip has a metal IHS thingy on the substrate, and next to them was the RAM and the flash memory. So yeah, because what are the performance of this thing? Well, it's pretty decent. Like, yeah, it's pretty good for basic TikToking. After some few scrolls on TikTok, it will just smooth it out. But in CapCut, I'll let my editor say it to you. It's laggy as fuck. Yeah, he don't like that. He said lag. Anyway, because of this tablet, it make me like iPads more than Android tablets. For me personally, I'm an Android guy. I use a very Realme phone, the Realme C21Y. but I don't really like Apple devices. I only like the MacBooks and the iPads now, but not the iPhones, because if you know, you know. But I feel like I need to glaze the iPad series, because as you may know in my TikTok videos, I said that two of my 2013 and 2014 tablet died, while this thing still lives on without even breaking. Well, and not the screen, but the motherboard. The Android tablets that I had degraded memory and boards, so they died. Right. And guess what brands were those tablets? Samsung's. So yeah, Samsung tablets are not made for longevity, but iPads are. I don't know why, but yeah. Also, it's also said by other iPad users that newer iPads now suck at stability. But I think they just don't like the lag, which for me as an Android user, I eat the lag up. I don't give a crap about the lag. I literally don't give a crap about the lag, except for the editor. Anyway, another win for the iOS platform, because iPadOS existed when iOS 13 released, and then iPadOS 13 released too. It's a bit confusing about why they continue on the iOS number, even though iOS and iPadOS are now different strands of OSs. iPadOS has better DeX, Samsung DeX-like multitasking than this multitasking thing in here. Feels like, look like Android split screen. Like, for example, I open this and then I open my Apple VLC. And it's more like just Android split screen. It's similar to Android split screen. So, but also the most nicest thing of all that iOS still, I think, supports. I don't know, but you can tell me if iOS still has this. CPU usage. Yeah. As you can see there, that's an widget app that monitors CPU usage. Since Android 8, Google just removed that, like they removed freaking side-loading APKs. I'm still mad, Google. I'm still mad. But anyway, considering they removed CPU usage monitor, and I think only CPU uses monitor is for security. But we know that iOS is sometimes secure. Well, it is secure. It still has the CPU usage, even though iOS is very secure. I don't know why Google removed that, but it kind of sucked. Like, I use 10UX, and it's sad too. And when I use Benchtop, it's sad that the CPU core bars don't move. It sucks. It very, very much sucks. Anyway, that's all I can say. I have an iPad now, so I might be better at editing. And I think my editor would be more mad. Yeah. Anyway, that's all. Thank you guys for watching, and remember, like and subscribe for more videos just like this one. Goodbye, and Haswell out again. I think I will post another video or so. I don't really know, but I think I will post a video about editing. Uh, well, we just don't know. Bye bye. Okay, so if you're asking why my lower part of my shirt was wet, you got the wrong answer, you dirty-minded numbnut, because I washed the dishes. And here's the lavabo setup. So, look at this. It's close to this part of my shirt. So if I get water in this, it will spill right to my shirt. So it will spill here. So, yeah. That wet part there was because I was washing the dish. I hate the freaking focus on my damn camera. Or is it? So cloudy. Sooner or later I'm going to fix that iPad and also fix this damn glass thing on my camera. Anyway, goodbye.